This week on Lowdown, we get a backstage pass to Taming of the Shrew and go behind the scenes of the UCM Filmmakers and Actors Coalition 48-Hour Film Festival.
We'll also head over to the Missouri Veterans Home for a Civil War reenactment, and we talked to the UCM Concert Choir and Wind Ensemble about their amazing gear.
All this and more coming up next on Lowdown. Hello, welcome back to Lowdown, a show by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Rick Fahler.
And I'm Ranjanae Hill. Thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to dive into all the cool things happening here at UCM.
Speaking of, the Concert Choir and Wind Ensemble are back at it again with a performance at the President's Gala held at the Kauffman Center for Performing Arts.
And we also got the opportunity to go backstage with the cast and crew of Taming of the Shrew put on here at Highlander Theater.
Over this past year, UCM's music performance ensembles have been afforded some amazing opportunities, including performing at the Kauffman Center of Performing Arts and the famous Carnegie Hall in New York. Members say the experience is unmatched.
The opportunities to perform in such world-class venues is insurmountable. It's hard to describe because you don't get those kind of opportunities everywhere, and you don't get them often if you do. So the fact that in one semester the choir and the band got to go to Carnegie Hall and the Kauffman Center is pretty incredible.
I'm studying to be an opera singer, so singing at Carnegie Hall, New York, is one of the highest points of any opera singer's career. And I haven't even embarked on my career yet, and I got the opportunity to sing a solo in Carnegie Hall. That is a really, really big deal.
Getting to Carnegie Hall takes more than luck. Being in any of these ensembles requires a huge amount of dedication and a significant time commitment.
Even for just being in one of the ensembles, whether you're going on a big trip like this or not, is a pretty big time commitment. You have numerous rehearsals every week, usually at least an hour 3 times a week. And then you also have to put in a lot of time outside of those class periods just to keep up with the expectation that the directors kind of put on everyone. Getting ready for both of those trips was even bigger of a time commitment, and it was just heavily impressed on us that here's the expectation, and it is up to you as adults and as college students to get it done.
Get it done they did, but not without help from their peers, which are considered family.
The music department atmosphere is very, very friendly, very, very calm, very, very, it's like a family. Everybody's looking out for each other, which is a really, really good thing.
The general attitude and demeanor of the concert choir, it's a family. It's a really big family. We're together a lot, and we're kind of in the trenches, within our weekly rehearsal, and that's when we get the most work done, and that's when we see each other most, is in our weekly rehearsals. So there's a special kind of bond that you have with people who you sing next to all the time.
To future students who may be on the fence about getting involved in the music department, there is no better time than now.
I think there's a lot of ways to convince somebody who's on the fence about coming to UCM. That being one of them, just showing them all of the opportunities that we have had and that we could potentially have in the future. All of the opportunities that we have been given, especially this semester, are only going to lead to more.
I would definitely just show them and tell them about all the wonderful opportunities I've had. I've gotten to travel so much this semester, and if it wouldn't have been for wind ensemble or just music in general, I would not have had all those opportunities. I've gotten to go to New York, to the Kauffman Center, to Colorado. It's just been a wonderful semester, and if it wasn't for music, I don't know if I would have gotten to do all those things.
Get involved or be sure to see these amazing ensembles. Bryce Jones, Lowdown.
This last week, our UCM Theater Department performed Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. To get an inside look, we caught up with 2 of the performers to see what their experience has been like.
I auditioned and started doing small black box performances over in Nickerson, and then I started getting cast in main stages.
I've learned more than I ever could have imagined, and I get to tell stories every day that need to be told.
After gathering all of these talented actors, the next step is preparation for the show.
You first have a table read, wherein all the actors gather together and read through the script and talk through text analysis, character analysis, plot analysis. So that way when we go into rehearsing and getting up on our feet, we have a comprehensive idea of what the show is and what we're trying to tell with the show. So from that point, we go into blocking, which is simply you stand here and do this kind of thing.
It's a very communal environment, if I could explain it that way, in that it brings people from all different talents and backgrounds into like one collaborative art form.
For Chris and Emmy, what is it that makes all of this hard work well worth the labor?
The feeling that it gives you, it's, if you know the term like runner's high, it's a lot like a runner's high. It's exhilarating and exciting and fulfilling.
Other art forms, you can't really like stand there and actually get the immediate response. Like if you're a painter, you have to like hear about a review later on, or if you're a writer, you don't really know inside the mind of the person how it really affected them. But like when you're on the stage and you hear the reaction, you see the audience responding, that's probably one of my favorite parts about it.
In closing, we asked what they were looking forward to the most about this performance.
I think like revealing that Shakespeare can be funny, and that, it's not just some sort of like English class assignment, it's so much more than that, and that the stuff that he writes is still hilarious.
I'm interested to see how that resonates with the audience, whether they're gonna get the humor or they're gonna get, the subtle jokes here and there, and blatant jokes for that matter.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Jacob Clark.
Talk about the wonderfully talented students we have here at UCM. It's always great seeing our fellow peers take to the stage.
Absolutely. From the main stage to the orchestra pits, our students seem to be everywhere. And speaking of, the UCM Filmmakers and Actors Coalition recently held a 48-hour film festival where the students competed here on campus, and our very own Ben Van Maley was there to capture it all.
We also followed some of the other filmmakers to talk about other projects they are working on.
Scene 3, shot 3A, take 1.
UCM students recently participated in the 3rd UCM 48-Hour Film Festival, a film competition where students aim to make the best possible film within 48 hours.
The UCM 48-Hour Film Festival is a film festival about students just creating a film within a 48-hour time limit. So we write it, we shoot it, and we edit it within 48 hours. There's not many film festivals where you're writing and shooting and editing the film within a short period of time. You're usually just going to submit your finished film, but we're actually going through the whole process within 2 days. So you don't really see that often. I think that's what's most interesting about this.
The film festival is organized every semester by the Filmmakers and Actors Coalition, a dedicated group of digital media production and theater students.
The Filmmakers and Actors Coalition here on campus, basically our strive and motivation is to just get a lot of experience within the film and acting, hence the name, aspects of everything that we like to do as digital media production majors and with theater majors. And it's really cool because we're one of the groups on campus who combine 2 departments into one, and we actually get to do the things that we love together and learn and just teach each other new things.
Participating students hope to create something worthy enough to put on their professional portfolios.
The purpose of the 48-Hour Film Festival is to just get experience outside of the classroom. I mean, we have all these great tools and resources here at this school where, we need to take advantage of them and, just get outside of the classroom and actually put something together with all the creative minds that we have here. So I really want to, have something that's going to last for a long time, and doing a film is a perfect way of doing that. So
what I want to accomplish with the 48-hour film festival is to basically just give everybody that's involved in the group enough work to put on some demo reels and acting reels and just to feel the whole experience of what it takes to make a film.
The process of making a 48-hour film can be strenuous, but it can also be very rewarding.
Okay, so the process for making a film in the 48-hour is so much work. Once you really do one, you realize how much work there actually is to do. And so basically the process of this is to, on Friday, you draw the categories that you have. So you get the genre, the prop, you have your line of dialogue, and then once we have all of that, all the groups will go off and then we'll start coming up with a script, and then we'll write the script that night on Friday. And then from there, we come up with a shooting schedule for the next day on Saturday. So then we'll all try to go to bed on Friday, and we'll wake up, depending on what time, usually pretty early on Saturday, and we'll just go ahead and get started filming. And we'll film all day. Sunday is just stuck for editing all day because we have to turn it in at 6 o'clock on Sunday. So yeah, Friday we do pre-production, Saturday production, and then Sunday's post-production.
Students looking to participate in future 48-hour film festivals should get involved in the Filmmakers and Actors Coalition.
Just find us on Facebook at UCM Filmmakers and Actors Coalition and just follow up with some updates on there.
We generally do 1 to 2 film festivals a year, so one in the fall and one in the spring. So just show up to the Filmmakers and Actors Coalition's meetings and you can get involved, sure.
Just to actually be able to make a film with my peers and some of my best friends, it means the world to me.
Doctor.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Ben Van Maley.
I've been having so much fun.
Well, that's good. Fun is the most important thing. Remember that.
College is one of the most stressful times in a person's life, with coursework, unorthodox schedules, and fear of the future. The students in the theater and digital media production departments managed to create a fun yet professional environment on set with their latest film, Soulmates.
When we were on set, in between takes, we were joking around and we were all laughing and just having a good time. But when we got the slate ready, everyone just kind of snapped back into it and they were like, really serious.
We all talked, made jokes about when we had to do the filming. We were in character, we were silent, and then the minute cut was shouted, we went back to making jokes.
This entire crew was super welcoming and so nice and so funny and so easy to get along with.
The people, the company that was there was what made this experience exceptional.
12 cast and crew members in total built friendships and bonds while still producing an organized product.
It was very organized, actually, which was super nice, especially being a student-driven work.
There was no arguing, there was no having to wait for long periods of time to get stuff done. It was very organized and done well.
We really all formed a close bond because we were, together on set for, 8, 9, 10 hours, and, we tried to ease the tension with just laughter and things like that.
It was just a lot of fun getting to act with my friends and get some good film practice for later on in life.
Although everyone loved working together as a unit, everyone's favorite moment spawned from a constant distraction, a cat named Harold.
When the cat would get in a shot.
He was a comic relief for the story. He was always, jumping on couches or scratching people, and Harold, he was a great addition to our cast.
Rick would do a photo shoot with a cat every, once in a while, because why not? So it's like the little things like that that make it super fun and make it something memorable.
These students worked diligently to bring Soulmates to life to showcase their talents.
I think people should watch Soulmates because this really is a shining example of what student work is here at UCM. We have a great director of photography. We have great lighting. We have great sound guys. They're just awesome. And if you really want to see what students are doing here in the DMP program, this is what you should look at.
Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Rick Thaler. I can't wait to sit down and watch all those films. It is wonderful to see all of our classmates working towards their future careers.
Let's switch gears now and talk about the Oxfam Hunger Banquet that was held in the Union on April 6th, where students sat down to learn what they can do to help the hunger crisis afflicting our world.
And we also went to the front lines of the Missouri Veterans Home, where Brianna Blocker gave us the scoop of the recent Civil War reenactment.
Every year, UCM social influence students take on the large task of throwing the Oxfam Hunger Banquet. The event highlights hunger all over the world, but really tends to focus on American society to show that the issue is related, even in our own backyards. Pastor Moody of the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church was the keynote speaker for the evening, and his words really helped to set the tone for what Oxfam truly stands for.
I thought that I'm from Chicago, so I thought it would be relatively easy to come to Warrensburg and start a feeding program, even though I don't know how to cook. I thought that it would be simple from the standpoint our culinary committee would cook and people would come because they're hungry. Well, we prepared for about 200 people and 2 people showed up. And one of the things that it did was it humbled me because I didn't really understand the need that people had. Some of us, we believe that we could serve people because they're hungry and homeless without first dealing with them as human beings and dealing with their self-esteem.
Preceding the banquet, the educational portion of the night took place. This includes a scavenger hunt as well as a word find. In the educational room was also a place for both monetary as well as food and toiletry donations. Drawing closer to the main part of the event, participants headed down to the room, but before entering, each had to randomly select their new social class. This status would dictate where they sat as well as what they ate for the evening. One student in attendance, Tia Chesson, also a communication studies student, talked about what she personally took away from the night's event.
The activity that they did where they switched people around and just showed the imbalance of social class. There's so many people in the world that don't have what we in America are privileged enough to have, so I think being more humble about what I do have and maybe not complaining as much if something goes wrong, because there's always going to be someone else out there that doesn't have nearly the opportunities that I have.
The students and faculty look to continue the Oxfam tradition. Reporting for Lowdown, I'm Adrian Columbus.
Saturday, April 2nd, I had the honor of attending the Civil War reenactment held at the Veterans Home. One of the organizers of this event described just how hard the process of having this event really was.
First, you got to figure out where you're going to have it and what kind of a scenario you're looking at. See, there was actual battles in Warrensburg, but we're doing what we call a generic battle here today because there were just too many reenactors and we would have to build a courthouse and stuff like that. So we're just doing a generic. And we just decide what we want to do and then how many reenactors it'll take to do it. And then we send out the word that we're going to have a reenactment. And as you can see, here they come.
Lewis informs us how the reenactors are hired.
They volunteer. We go all over the place and do reenactments everywhere.
Though there were battles in Warrensburg, it's saddening that this is our first reenactment.
This is the first one that we know of that's been in Warrensburg, which is kind of a shame because there were actual battles in Warrensburg during the Civil War. And we're just happy to be here and be able to put it on for our veterans because that's what we're doing it for, is for them and the service they give to us.
With the help of Melissa, they were able to put this event on for the veterans and for Warrensburg.
The way I understand it, it was the veterans themselves that asked for it, and then Melissa Wilson called me and told me that the veterans were asking to see a Civil War battle, but they weren't able to get out to one, want to know if we could bring one to them. So it just kind of snowballed from there till today where here we are.
Lewis hopes this event will bring awareness to our community.
Hopefully it will educate people on what the war was really about. And hopefully it'll help bring in more people to Warrensburg to kind of investigate what went on here during that time, because Warrensburg has a lot of history in it and they need to be recognized for that.
King expresses his gratitude towards the veterans.
I'd just like to thank the veterans for the service that they gave to us and the ability to put this on for them, and really hope they enjoy it.
I'm Brianna Blocker, reporting for Lowdown.
Oh, hello. My name's Jacob. You probably know me as Tim, and you probably think that I need some voice coming over telling me how to live my life.
Oh, Tim, you knucklehead.
No, not this time. It's my turn. Too many people live their lives trying to impress others and live by social norms. So I'm here today as Jacob, telling you to be yourself, because you're the best you that there is. So have a great summer.
To close out the show this evening, we give you a piece on our very own Shane Suter. He's the show editor of our little production here, and he happens to be working on a very big project.
That's right. Shane got the opportunity to go to New York City with the UCM Concert Choir and Wind Ensemble to shoot a documentary that will premiere April 28th of this year. Take a look.
Well, I'm one of 2 students that got selected by the comm department last semester to shoot a documentary on the UCM Wind Ensemble and Concert Choir playing at Carnegie Hall in New York City. The title of the documentary is going to be called A Place in History, since, you know, it's a part of UCM making history by going to New York and playing at Carnegie Hall. We're setting to premiere this documentary on April 28th at 9 p.m. at Hart Recital Hall, and anybody who wants to come see it is invited to come, and we will have refreshments at the end. It's definitely taking UCM's motto, learning to a greater degree, to the full, because I mean, just between me and Britton from, you know, the digital media department getting to go to New York and film this and edit everything and do all the interviews, to even, you know, the music department, you know, learning to a greater degree, getting to go out and explore, you know, a big city and play in an awesome venue, you know, that's world famous like Carnegie Hall. And but yeah, I mean, their performance was awesome, and it gave me goosebumps. I'm sitting here getting goosebumps just talking about it, remembering listening to their concert. It's probably one of the biggest projects I've ever worked on here at UCM, or, you know, anywhere in my career so far. But it's definitely been a good experience, and I'm excited to see how this documentary is going to come out at the end.
Wow, seriously, I'm moved, man. Yeah. That at the end, yes, that climax, guys, that's, you know, that moment, I relived the moment I wrote this piece. If a composer can share that with you, thank you for bringing the notes to life and sharing that with me.
So we just finished our first rehearsal here in New York City, and kids are playing very well, they're excited. It's cool to see the journey, you know, all come together and pointing, you know, directly right at that arrival on Saturday night in Carnegie Hall.
So with this, it's kind of taking, you know, real world experience to a whole new level. Because sure, you know, you practice in the classrooms, you practice at home, you do what you can, but it's just not gonna feel the same until you're actually here, and then you actually get to do it, and you get to put that in your little book for the rest of your life.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight. But don't fear, the show in its entirety and the individual segments can be found on our KMOS TV YouTube page.
Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Ronjanae Hill.
And I'm Rick Failer.
Good night. Veterans Home for a Civil War reenactment. And we talked to the UCM Concert Choir and Wind Ensemble about their amazing gear.
I'm Rick Failer.
And I'm Ronjanae Hill. Thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to dive into all the cool things happening here at UCM.
Speaking of.
I don't know the rest.
Hang on.
voice gets cracking. Okay, so. Okay, thanks. You just like smacked me.
The UCM Student Chapter of the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is hosting our first annual Out of the Darkness Campus Walk on Saturday, April 16th. 86% of the funds raised contribute to research, education, and prevention programs that help save lives at UCM. The UCM Out of the Darkness Campus Walk supports suicide prevention and mental health awareness across campus. More information can be found at the AFSP website. Together, we will save lives.